With US missiles now being used in the Ukraine-Russia war, with about 60 days left before President-elect Trump goes into office, is it possible that they're just trying to ruin the economy so that when he goes into office, America stands no chance at recovery? War is inflationary, and they're literally burning money by using US weaponry. War and fireworks are the only things that can make money disappear, outside of burying it like Pablo Escobar in the 1980s. This word inflation it's been thrown around like crazy for the last 2 years, and the end consumer, you felt it over the last 2 years, but you're not thinking, oh, the US involvement in the Russia-Ukraine war, the $64 billion that we spent overseas, are what's causing my loaf of bread to be double in price. My eggs to go from $2.99 a carton to $7.99 a carton. And for our purposes, because I'm dedicated to mortgages, like the interest rates going from 2 and 3% all the way to 7 and 8%. We don't think about how the war is impacting us. We don't think about how the US missiles and Putin announcing that he's going to use nuclear weapons on the US if this continues. And there will be a short-term drop in mortgage rates if war tensions escalate. And the reason why is because money's going to get moved out of the stock market and it's going to put into the bond market. And the bond market is basically a flight to safety. It's a guaranteed return. It's buying US debt. The US goes, hey, if you give us $100, we'll give you $104, right? Because there's a 4% return right now. It's 4.44. And so if we look at like what happened to mortgage rates following the start of the war, it's actually pretty scary. Now, this is correlation, not causation. So in the comments, go ahead and hate and tell me that I'm absolutely wrong. Tell me your opinion. But in the start of 2022, mortgage rates were sitting about 3.6%. Right now in 2024, 2 years after Russia invaded Ukraine, after we spent $64 billion, mortgage rates are sitting at about 6.78%, with a peak in October of 23 of 7.79%. So how does that correlate to inflation? In February of 22, when the conflict really arose, you had an inflation rate of 7.9%. Well, why was that? Well, that was because we were at war with something else. We were at war with an internal disease with COVID. We had to implement quantitative easing and loosen fiscal regulations so that the government could print more money. And we pumped more money into the economy really than we needed. And so that caused everything to go up in price because there was just more money pumped into the economy. Well, as inflation started to grow out of control, you ever think there might be a little coincidence that all these wars really started in 2021 and 2022, right after all of this monetary easing came to be? War is an easy way for them to burn money and control the money supply. And so as we started to see President-elect Trump call for an end to the Ukraine-Russia conflict, the powers that be decided that they would escalate tensions to try to mitigate that because they need money to continue to be burned off. Inflation today is sitting at about 2.6%, but really even that's high if we look at inflation post-financial crisis of 2008. In 2009, we had negative inflation. We had almost negative inflation in 2010. And then we've had inflation between 0 and 2 to 2.5% all the way until 2021. And because we had such low inflation, the bond market was well received because people were selling and buying bonds at a greater rate of inflation. And so then that caused mortgage rates to stay steady between 3 and 5%. But because we saw in 2022 and 2023 inflation peak all the way to 9.1%, we now got to see mortgage rates peak up to 7.79%. So what does all this mean, and how will all this be changed? Well, it is my conspiracy theory that we still need to continue war because we still have too much money in the money supply, and we need to continue to burn off money. We need to continue to get rid of money to continue to tighten down on how much money is pumping through the economy. It's interesting that people are feeling the pinch, but yet you go anywhere and everywhere is jam-packed with people spending money. But this war and the start of the use of US military weaponry being launched into Russia is just another inflationary position that the US has taken to cost you, the end consumer, more money so that your US dollar gets devalued and so that the cost of your daily goods get more expensive. And for those of you that are trying to buy a home, even though you're going to experience short-term relief and mortgage rates might improve over the next couple weeks, mortgage rates in the long-term post-war are atrocious because it is a reaction to all of the inflation that takes place during wartime. So if you want to continue to follow how this war in the US and new policies affect housing and mortgage rates, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe below.